911, where's your emergency?
Someday you'll know. Already know what I'm going to say. I've been feeling this way for far too long.
What bridge? Paul, what bridge is this? We're in the boat.
Okay.
We have someone missing.
Okay. Hang on 1 second, okay?
On February 24th, 2019, a boat crash on Archers Creek in South Carolina took the life of Mallory Madison Beach, who at the time was only 19 years old. On the boat that night were 3 couples: Paul Murdaugh and his girlfriend Morgan Dowdy, Miley Altman and her boyfriend Connor Cook, and his cousin Anthony Cook and his girlfriend Mallory Beach. The group of friends had been boating on Archers Creek when the boat crashed into a bridge piling, throwing everyone on board into the water. Miley Altman, pictured here, was one of the 6 passengers on the boat that night, and she was lucky enough to survive the accident. Since the accident, Miley has kept a low profile and has not spoken publicly about the incident. However, her name has been mentioned in the media over the past few years, particularly as the investigation into the accident had continued. People are more interested than ever to hear from Miley herself.
Paul was just driving and doing donuts, and we're not going anywhere. We're just doing circles, and Morgan gets mad and yells at him and was like, "Listen, you need to stop. I want to go home."
Morgan Dougherty was Paul Murdaugh's girlfriend at the time of the boating accident, and she was one of the 6 passengers on the boat who was ejected from the boat when it crashed into the bridge pilings. Morgan Dougherty recently gave a revealing look into the relationship she had with Paul Murdaugh, including his drinking habits, that seemed to be the root of many troubles for the couple.
It's very normal for them to be drinking and just have a lot of alcohol, always stocked in the house.
Morgan places a lot of emphasis on the extent of Paul Murdaugh's troubles with alcohol, as do several of his other friends.
Alcohol definitely changed Paul. We called Paul Timmy when he was drunk.
We were just anything is better than Paul right now, because who knows what he would do. Because he was riding close to sailboats that were parked and just being very reckless.
Testimony was Mallory asked to be let off, but there comes a point where there's no place to get off, and he wouldn't stop and wouldn't let anybody else drive.
What bridge is Paul? What bridge is this? Paul, what bridge?
911, where's your emergency? Hello? Police, fire, ambulance? Hello?
We're in a boat crash on Archer Street.
Whereabouts on Archer Street? Hello, are you at the dock?
No, we just crashed in a boat.
Okay, are you in the water or are you?
We're in the boat.
Okay.
We have someone missing.
Okay. Hang on 1 second, okay?
The voice of the man who made the 911 call alerting authorities to the boat crash was that of Connor Cook, who at the time was Miley Altman's boyfriend and friend of Paul Murdaugh. Connor Cook can be spotted on security camera footage with Paul Murdaugh at a bar called Luther's Rare and Well Done around 12:55 a.m. while they docked for a second time on their journey home from their night out. As you'll see in this security camera footage here, you can see Paul leaning over the bar and both young men taking shots. We'll return to this scene in a little bit, but first, let's go over the entirety of the timeline from that evening. The South Carolina Department of Natural Resources released a document that outlaid the timeline for the entire evening in great detail. The timeline starts at 5:30 p.m. at Parker's in Ridgeland. Paul Murdaugh, age 20 at the time, drove a white pickup truck with a boat in tow Parker's gas station in Ridgeland on the afternoon of Friday, February 23, 2019. He walked in the store and picked up a 6-pack of Michelob Ultra beers and a 12-pack of White Claw seltzers and a 15-pack of Natural Light beers. Murdaugh exited the store minutes later and walked out to his truck. Noticing a friend had pulled up next to his car in the parking lot, Murdaugh triumphantly hoisted the new score of booze over his head, as the footage here shows. Next event in the timeline is at 6:36 p.m. at the River House. So this is referring to the Murdaugh family's River House, and according to the timeline of events, all 6 of the passengers of the boat, Miley Altman, Anthony Cook, Connor Cook, Morgan Doherty, Mallory Beach, and Paul Murdaugh, met at the Murdaugh River House, which, by the way, is a $1.45 million property owned by the Murdaugh's grandfather on the creek, and it's less than 2 miles from Parker's. Court filings in the wrongful death suit filed by Mallory Beach's mother refer to this property as, quote, the island, end quote. The filings say the group of young adults started drinking there at the Murdaugh residence. At 7:07 p.m., the 6 young adults all boarded the 17-foot boat named the Sea Hunt, which is owned by Paul Murdaugh's father, Alec Murdaugh, and they left for an oyster roast on Pawkey Island, and it's nearly 20 miles away from the island residence. The next event on the timeline brings us to 8 p.m. at Pawkey Island. Christy Wood, who is a school principal in Hampton County where the Murdaughs lived, and her husband hosted an oyster roast for what they referred to as friends and family. The event was labeled as a bring your own booze for those of legal age, according to the host. Paul Murdaugh and his 5 friends, who were all underage, arrived at the party around 8 p.m. and by all accounts, except for the host's account, they drank a lot. Paul Murdaugh and his friends left after midnight, so they were there for over 4 hours. The next event on the timeline brings us to 12:11 a.m. at the Beaufort River. The timeline of events is based on the boat's GPS. The timeline shows the group of 6 young adults getting on the boat at Pawkey Island and heading towards the Beaufort waterfront. Paul Murdaugh and the group left because, quote, Paul wanted to get shots, end quote. And this is Miley Altman's statement. According to the timeline, the boat almost collided with the Woods Memorial Bridge at 2:35 a.m. In Morgan Doherty's statement, she said that Connor Cook had to take the wheel because Paul Murdaugh was going to hit the bridge. GPS coordinates show that the group arrived at the day dock in downtown Beaufort at 12:39 a.m. 1 minute later, the group pushed back off from the dock, traveling back into the river, according to the coordinates from the GPS navigation system. 4 minutes later, at 12:44 a.m., the boat arrived back at the day dock for a second time, and the 6 docked there, and they all exited the boat. This brings us to the next timeline event at 12:55 a.m. at Luther's Rare and Well Done Bar. Once the group docked the boat for a second time, they all split up. Paul Murdaugh and Connor Cook went to Luther's Rare and Well Done to get shots. Miley Altman says Morgan was yelling at Paul Murdaugh to not go in, but he did anyway. The other 4 passengers waited on the swings at a waterfront park. Once inside Luther's Rare and Well Done, Paul Murdaugh and Connor Cook ordered shots of Jägermeister, and then they took shots of Lemon Drop, which is a vodka mix shot. Miley Altman said that she and Doherty went to the bar to get Paul Murdaugh and Connor Cook. According to Miley Altman, Murdaugh knocked down a chair at the bar and another person joked and said, "Hey, what did that chair ever do to you?" She says, as Paul walked away, he looked at Connor and said, "What did he say to me?" And according to Miley's statement, Paul Murdaugh turned back around and asked the guy if he had a problem with him. Apparently, Connor Cook had to hold Paul Murdaugh back and bring him back to the boat to prevent him from getting into a fight, says Miley Altman. Morgan Doherty says, when Paul and Connor came out of the bar, I could tell how intoxicated they both were. The next event on the timeline brings us to 1:13 a.m. at the Beaufort River. The 6 young adults got back into the boat and left the dock at 1:13 a.m. according to the timeline. They traveled south towards Port Royal Sound in the direction of the Murdaugh River house. According to Miley Altman, Murdaugh was driving the boat. Mallory Beach sat on Anthony Cook's lap in the back of the boat. Connor Cook, she said, stood on the right side of the boat. Miley Altman said that Morgan Doherty began to notice the boat was traveling in circles. Miley Altman states, "We all got irritated. It was funny at first, but then we all got mad and fed up and told Paul to let someone else drive." She said she yelled at Paul Murdaugh to let Connor drive. Paul, quote, got aggressive and yelled back that it was his boat. Morgan Doherty says, Paul drove almost all the way to the Sands Beach in Port Royal, and from there we begged Connor to drive. Miley Altman's statement says that Connor Cook and Paul Murdaugh switched off driving around this time. According to the official timeline, the boat slowed down at 12:20 as Paul Murdaugh moved to the front of the boat to argue with Morgan Doherty. Paul Murdaugh, according to Morgan, says he got close to my face, screaming, cussing, and saying horrible things. Miley Altman said she saw Morgan Doherty push her boyfriend away and say, "What, are you going to hit me? Like you have all those times before?" Paul Murdaugh hit Morgan Doherty, his girlfriend. She hit him back, says Miley Altman. Paul Murdaugh then walked to the steering wheel and grabbed it from Connor Cook, according to all statements. According to the official timeline, the boat's speed increased at 2:20 a.m. Miley Altman, according to her statement, noticed a bridge that, quote, came out of nowhere, end quote. Miley Altman says, right before we hit it, I screamed, "Watch out!" And we made impact, and the boat kept going and hit the shore. Morgan Doherty wrote in her statement that Miley Altman screamed Cook's name before hitting the pilings. According to the official timeline, the boat smacked into the dolphin pilings at 12:20 a.m. at the bridge along Archer's Creek. 1 minute later, the boat hit the bank under the bridge and stopped. Mallory Beach was nowhere to be found. The following are audio excerpts and dash cam footage from the aftermath of the boat accident. You will hear Mallory's boyfriend, Anthony Cook, talking to an investigator, well, rather a couple investigators. Listen carefully to what he says. You will hear when Paul Murdaugh comes into the frame, at least from Anthony's Cook perspective, and he becomes very agitated. The investigators take that opportunity to ask him some questions about what happened in this boating accident and who was driving. Listen carefully to what Anthony Cook has to say, and stay tuned for the next series, the next episode in this series, where we will take a look into the alternative stories that aren't necessarily included in the official timeline and the statements and evidence that exist to back up those alternative theories. Ultimately, we want to know who knew what about this boating accident and about Mallory Beach's death. Please leave a comment and let us know what you think about the factual timeline, well, the official factual timeline, and the contents of this video.
After y'all hit the bridge, did y'all beach the boat up there on the side of the thing, or did the boat, that's where it ended up?
That's where it ended up.
Okay. Y'all think y'all hit one of the markers that in the beginning of it?
Sure. Okay. Can I use your phone? My phone? Can I use your phone?
Hey, bro, I ain't got my phone on me, brother.
You ain't got your phone on you?
No, you dropped yours in the grass right back there.
That don't surprise me.
Okay. Have you been checked out? By name, bro? Hey, buddy. You been checked out by name, bro?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Sure? Well, hey, we still get checked out, right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, shit, what's going on?
Hey, what's your last name, buddy?
Murdaugh.
M-U-R-D-A-U-G-H. Okay, what's your first name?
Paul.
Paul, P-A-U-L?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
But they find Mallory. Hey.
We're looking right now for it. They're down there looking, okay?
But they got a good search on her, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But they probably gonna find her either.
They're gonna find you, okay?
Don't you think?
They're down there looking right now, okay?
You know they got a... That's a good search, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they got a good team down there looking for her, okay?
Hey, can I use your phone?
I don't have my phone on me, buddy. Here.
Hey.
Here, stay right here. I'm gonna go get that one you dropped on the ground back there, alright?
Yes, sir. Pick that up.
You got it already?
Yeah.
Okay. So there were 6 total people in the boat. Okay. They hit, I think, one of the bridge pylons, and where you see the boat is where it ended up.
Okay.
One of the young ladies got ejected. She still has not been found. Tide's going out, and we tried walking down the marsh for a little ways to find her, but the young lady down there, I think, is the most severe so far of the people that we have, the 5 that we have.
Okay. So we got 6 total, 5 accounted for.
Yes, sir. Okay. Tide's going out, and they were running this way when they hit the bridge, so she probably got ejected, and the current carried her down that way.
I did find a county out of Hampton, a deal out of Hampton County for that.
I'm about to drive down there. I done been in the back of one. You're not going in no cuffs. Get in the car. Come on. I need you. Yes, come on. You're not going. You're not in trouble. I done told you that. You're in trouble. I'll be putting you in cuffs right now. Mallory? Come on. Did they find Mallory? What? You're not. Just sit right here. I'm not closing the door. I'm gonna get you a cigarette. Sit right there. Sit right here. We got everybody coming out here. You're my concern, okay? I'm fine. No, you're not. Listen. Listen, Keith. I'm here for you. All right. Me and you, we're chilling. I understand you're upset. I ain't about to sit here and tell you to calm down, okay? But I'm gonna get you a cigarette.
I'm working.
Fire, they can bring their thermal up.
Come on, 14.
Listen, man, my mom works. Okay, listen, that's cool. I done told you you're not in trouble. Do you want to call that? I need to call her. I need to call her. Go. You can go down there. Is there a D-long on the boat? A what? Elena? No. Huh? No, that's Elena DeLong from Ridgeland. It's not her. That is her friend down there that's bleeding like hell. What's your mom's number? Mom, y'all need to come to me for quick. We hit a bridge in the boat. Connor's fucked up. Connor's messed up bad. We can't find Mallory. Morgan's messed up bad. We can't find Mallory, Mom. Paris Island.
Paris Island Bridge.
No, it's just tell you come to entrance to Paris Island, so you won't miss it.
Paris Island, entrance to Paris Island. Entrance to Paris Island. Yeah. I don't know, Mom. There's 50 cops out here. Everybody shit up. I said there's 50 cops out here. And one of the cops was nice enough to let me call you. Mom, there's 50 cops here, Coast Guard, everything. We can't find Mallory. It's been 30 minutes, Mom. You probably need to call Mr. Hay or Mr. Phillip.
Alpha 14 is back.
Hey, there's one's injured on the boat all the way down there. I don't know if EMS knows all that, but
So we're DNR loading now. They're giving an ETA 20 minutes.
Hello? Hey, it's Lance Corporal Peace and Sheriff's Office. How you doing? Alright, right. Your son's not in trouble or anything right now. Like I said, he's very, he has a right to be shocked right now. Sitting on his lap. You probably do need to end up eventually coming down this way. If you don't have a problem with that, you probably don't want to ride. You told me you're in law enforcement? Okay. Alright, yes, man. We're here. Like I said, I'll let you come see your son soon as you get here. I got him pretty much as calm as I can get him. You know, I totally understand. So, me and him, I'll be hanging out with him the entire time, okay? Just Google Paris Island. Yeah, just Google Paris Island, the main entrance gate. We're around the main roads. One way in, one way out. You will not miss us. Just Google Paris Island. Yeah, the Marine Corps base. Like I said, coming through there, and we're soon coming through the little first gate. We're on the main road. You won't miss us.
You get that motherfucker right there away from me.
Yes, ma'am. We'll be here. You talking about that one with no shirt on? Hey, do not. I don't want you getting in trouble. You hear me? Listen to me. Don't get in no trouble. You hear what I said? Mom's on the way. I told her I'm gonna keep you listening.
Let me drive this goddamn.
I'm hanging with you till your mom gets here, okay?
That motherfucker ain't in fucking prison.
You're not in trouble.
He ain't gonna get no fucking trouble.
Oh, yes.
Bro, you fucking smiling like it's fucking funny.
Sit down.
My fucking girlfriend's gone, bro.
Sit down.
You think it's fucking funny?
Sit down.
Hope he's right fucking hell.
Sit down. Hey, somebody put him in the car. The one with the towel.
Go ahead.
Where's your cigarette at? Where's your cigarette? You need another one? Here. I ain't got a lot now. Don't waste them. Here. Smoke the cigarette, and I got you. He's going away. Don't even look at him. They're going to put him in the car. All right.
You know, about a month ago, a year ago, me and her got in a wreck together.
In a vehicle?
Yeah. And I thought she was dead, man. She was dead.
Said, how old are you?
She lived, dude. She was. I'll be 21 in 3 days, man.
What about the driver of the boat? Is he 21?
No.
Has everybody on the boat's been drinking?
Yeah.
Especially the driver?
I beg to drive that
But
fucking boat.
the driver, how much has he had to drink tonight?
Dude, I can tell you this much. We left, I don't even know where the fuck we were. We left and stopped fucking downtown Buford. And me and him about fought on the fucking dock because I told him not to go up there to that fucking bar that we needed to be going home.
Downtown? How are y'all drinking down there and then y'all?
Hell, I wasn't. I stayed on the damn boat.
But he was drinking actually at the bar?
I reckon. I didn't go up there.
So y'all came from downtown through the creek, and that's when he was going way too fast?
So I don't even know. I finally got to the point I grabbed my girlfriend and put her in my lap in the bottom of the boat and was holding on with my eyes closed. The next thing I know, I'm in the fucking water and I can't find it, man.
Can you feel that heat in there?
Dude, I'm not cool.
I know. Well, if you are, your adrenaline's up. You can't feel it. Smoke a cigarette.
I hadn't smoked a cigarette in 3 months.
Well, it's alright. Don't start, but it's okay to have one now.
Is there anybody in the water looking for?
Yes, we got MRO, we got DNR, fire department's got their boats in the water. Coast Guard is on the way with the chopper. DNR's en route. Alright?
She's at the bottom of the river, man.
They're gonna have a dive team. We got a dive team, we got a bunch of resources. Okay? Regardless, like I told you, regardless of the outcome, we will find her. Alright? But you just gotta keep faith that she is somewhere on the bank, or you see what I'm saying?
So it's the 6th day.
Yeah. Where'd y'all put in at?
Chelsea Island.
Chelsea out of Kalawasi?
The only island on Chelsea.
Yeah.
Y'all know Alec Murdaugh?
Oh yeah, I know that name.
That's his son.
That so driving the boat?
Good luck.
No matter who you know. Hey Keith, the driver is the one with no clothes on, correct?
To be honest with you,
The one you were getting mad at back there, he was in his drawers.
he was the last one driving whenever I got down in the Florida boat and headed on the box girlfriend. Yes, sir.
You dumb.
Over.
You miss it. You get over your breathing. That guy go to the ER. I got this.
Let me know if you need another cigarette, alright, Bubba?
This is my dude with the busted mouth eye.
He's still got clothes on, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, that's what, yeah. They're good. Everybody's good physical wise.
That's my first cut.
Okay, but I just wanted we need to know exactly who's driving, and that's, you said that was the last one you saw, so that's why I told them, because his ass will be responsible, okay? You hear me? Don't worry about that. We're going to handle on that end, okay? Alright? So, sure.